If you're saving up for a big purchase like a home or a car and need to build credit fast, Kickoff can help. They're the #1 credit building app in the App Store, and plans start at just $5 a month. No credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest.
Maybe you lost a job, had unexpected expenses, or just got behind on bills, leaving you in a tough spot with your credit. Well, if your credit is under 600, you could jump like 28 points in the first month. Kickoff is a smart, legit credit hack with no catch, no credit checks, no hidden fees, and no interest. It's simple. You make on-time payments, credit bureaus see good behavior, and your credit grows fast. Start building credit immediately for only $1 your first month with AutoPay. You never have to worry about missing a payment. You can build credit in your sleep. Sign up in minutes. From your phone, no credit check, and you can cancel any time.
Building credit can happen faster than you expect with Kickoff. Don't wait. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/VIALL to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Point stat based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0 changes for Kickoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payments and credit activity outside Kickoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another jam-packed episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick, and I could not be more excited about this episode. Let's just preview exactly what we got going on. First, shortly, in a few minutes, have Lauren from Love is Blind this season to basically help us clear up our great debate.
And who did? She did listen to our debate. So she does have a take on our debate.
She hates Nick.
Yeah, no.
Well, she does say she loves me. So.
Anyway, so that is coming up shortly. Lots of good information from Lauren, and excited for you guys to hear that. Then we have the very iconic Chanel Ayan joining us.
I can't wait to ask her, is it Ayan? Are we calling her Ayan
or
Chanel?
Is it Chanel? I don't know. She obviously recently on her way here, literally on her way here, she was on a flight with the one and only Will Smith, posted a picture with him, as she often does. She gave her input and opinion on Mr. Smith himself. So very excited to talk to her about all things Will Smith.
Do you think
Traitors,
he's been forgiven for slapping Chris Rock or no?
in general by the public?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone gives a fuck, really. He still is a ban from the, he has a lifetime ban from the Oscars, which is kind of...
Well, I mean, as he should.
Not really.
He did assault someone
One
on
of the
stage.
funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, he said he was sorry. Well, thank God he said he was sorry.
Yeah.
He's slapped. I mean, listen, it's not okay, but
sometimes a comedian needs to get slapped.
I don't think if you punch someone,
Y'all
you
are
feel
okay with
you
physical
get a
assault? That's
lifetime ban
crazy.
from things.
You don't think that the Oscars yeah, sure, Will Smith, we can trust you to come back and not assault any of our presenters for sure. Come on back.
I think he learned his lesson, and I feel like that was the most interesting the Oscars has been in I don't know how long.
I think the Oscars would do much better in ratings if it was also WWE SmackDown.
For sure.
I want to see Timothée Chalamet go up against the brutalist guy.
The winner gets to slap all the other people while being I just want to I want to shout out to all my nominees.
I want Club Chalamet to throw hands in the audience.
Is he nominated for anything?
Timothy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's nominated for everything.
Oh, Club Chalamet has been...
For what?
He can sing as good as Bob Dylan,
Bob
which
Dylan.
I guess is...
Yeah. Anytime... I think we need to ban biopics as part as Oscar nominations.
I agree.
Did you see that people think Millie Bobby Brown is going to be Britney Spears in her biopic?
Because she posted one pic of her with blonde hair.
With blonde hair.
On the balcony. I was like,
some
girl.
Y2K stickers on
It's
it.
going to be a no from me, dog.
I don't think they can do someone from England to play Britney. I'm sure she has a great little Southern, but no, come on.
We just talked about on Tuesday how brilliantly
That's true.
Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, that is true. I'll shut the
is
fuck
playing
up.
Thomas Ravenel.
It's playing Thomas Ravenel.
Speaking of White Lotus, though, Chris Pratt is super into his brother-in-law's cock.
They're not blood, so
they're not blood.
No.
Sometimes when people say things publicly,
he didn't say cock. He said dick.
For some reason, that word will always be jarring to me.
He said that dick.
But it wasn't a prosthetic. It was Patrick Schwarzenegger's real dick.
Good for him.
Yeah, he said, "I know where
and
my
good for
eyes
Abby
went."
Champion, his fiance. So
was it big? Good.
You just
definitely
it
definitely was
right?
I mean, I saw it. I watched the episode.
I
didn't
rewinded.
pause and be like, oh wow.
I was more focused
I watched
on
it while you were at work.
I was more focused on like the brother being kind of into it, and I don't know what's going on with these siblings.
Yeah,
but
was he kind of into it?
He was definitely into it.
He was having
that's weird.
Confusion.
It's full ass shot.
It's Mike White.
I'm over this whole like incestual.
Mike White has said that this family. Well, in the after the like inside the episode thing, Parker Posey was saying that Mike White had told her that this family was monkeys. It's representative of monkeys and like physical aggression and stuff like that, which there's been a lot of monkeys in pop culture recently.
Did Mike White watch Chimp Crazy?
I need to know if Mike White watched Chimp Crazy.
Chimp Crazy, I loved that.
Severance is the most watched series on Apple TV Plus history.
It might be one of the best shows ever created.
Honestly, no.
Mysterious and important.
No. Have y'all started watching Paradise on Hulu?
No, but I've heard about it.
We watched it last night.
We watched the first episode last night. I think it's going to be like one of the best. I think it's going to,
First of all, it's not going to be one of the best. It's going to be fun and entertaining and like, I mean, who knows? I guess it could be. I mean, James Marsden is in it. But like compared to Severance and the mind fuck that is. And like.
But you don't think this is also a mind fuck?
No, I think
it's how it's like.
I mean, spoiler alert. It's spoiled in the first episode. Like it's about like a potential like asteroid or like the world ending and like somehow
they have to live under the ground.
They have to live underground and blah blah. You know, so there's
like
so much more.
The sun is like a big light that's like pointing down, and it's everything.
It's giving Ember City.
Did you know there's a 3% chance that an asteroid's going to hit the Earth in like less than 3 years? And that used to be like a 1% chance, and now it's not anymore. It changed.
I heard that it changed.
Oh, is the asteroid kind of hit or not?
I don't think we'll find out until it does.
No.
I don't know about this asteroid.
It says that it's no longer going to be hitting Earth. At least that's what my stepfather told me. Maybe he was just trying to make me calm down.
I don't know. If an asteroid hits, we don't have to pay
off our student loans. It was only 3%, so like a 1 in 40 chance or some 48.
CBS News, asteroid 2024 no longer poses significant threat to Earth in 2032.
Oh, thank God.
Girl, that wasn't the next couple of years.
Nick, can we stop this conversation and get into Kate Hudson flirting with everybody?
Yeah, I really want you guys' opinion on this. Kate Hudson has admitted that she flirts with everybody, but her fiance is okay with it. I'm the biggest flirt on the planet, so I think anybody who's ever been with me is very aware I flirt with everybody. Girls, boys, thank God Danny is my partner. He can handle this. I met the right guy.
I mean, if she met the right guy, then she met the right guy. I think it's definitely a unique thing for them.
I think it's interesting conversation because I think like me being from the South, it's very like obviously people take being nice as flirting all the fucking time. If I acted the same way I act in the South here in LA, like it would be scary because men would be like, you know, in the South you go to like the grocery store and you're talking to like the bagger and you're like, oh my God, like I love that shirt. You look handsome today. Yes, sir. Like, oh, yes, sir. And I was there. Yes. You know, you have like a conversation, a little banter with someone, you make them laugh. If that happened in LA, they would like follow you to your car.
Yeah.
Sure. It's
unless Trader Joe's.
I also just think it's incredibly situational. Like if you were doing that with some random person, whatever, if you were doing that with someone who like was 6'2", had a beard, a couple tats, more flannel, I mean, like maybe not, you know? Like,
no, and I think the difference is like Kate Hudson being like, she's not trying to like take these people home or like fuck them or kiss them or like she's just like, I think what Kate Hudson is saying is like she's nice and her way of nice is like taken as flirty.
Okay, question though, is Kate Hudson in any way responsible, regardless of what she thinks is appropriate? Like let's say it's a married person, someone in a relationship, man, woman, doesn't really matter, you know, should she be mindful of like how her quote unquote flirtiness is received by any of these people she's flirting with?
Well, I'm sure she's also flirting with their wife, girlfriend, partner as well.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure she's being nice to everybody.
That's such a power move. You get mad that someone's flirting with her boyfriend and then they start flirting with you too.
And there's a huge difference, and I know they're right. A lot of people like will perceive niceness as flirting, you know, and it's definitely not flirting. But there's also flirting that's straight up flirting.
No, totally.
But is flirting like what's the line with like flirting as far as like unfaithfulness? Or
I think
whatever?
if you have intentions of like wanting
doing
to
something.
do something, like if your intention is not is like anything more than
Harmless
just
flirting.
being nice to
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah, if your intention is to receive some type of validation from this person, then it's completely inappropriate.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking you're flirting,
Mm-hmm.
then it's not.
But if you're just like
Potentially.
you're the kind of person that like everyone, you're just like naturally like charming and charismatic and flirty and give people that sort of attention.
Yeah, but a
then
lot of times
that's just who you are.
Sure, but flirts, and I've always been like a flirt. There's an element of like you want it back, you know. There's a banter,
Yeah.
you know. And when I was just being nice, you know, if I might say, "Oh, you look great today," like it's a beautiful dress, or that's a cool. I don't say that's flirting. I'm just like commenting on the dress.
You're
If I say, "Oh,
complimenting
that looks sexy on you,"
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah, if Kate
Low
Hudson is saying
voice.
someone is looking sexy in the grocery store, like maybe
Right.
I want to be in that grocery store.
I would like to be called sexy by Kate Hudson. I
Yeah.
will.
Well, Michaela Matthews from Mormon Wives is clapping back because did we find out what the critics were saying?
Yeah, so basically she had posted on Instagram sharing when like announcing that she was pregnant,
Mhm.
and she was saying that she's like she felt like this baby was like healing her.
And she is the one who is suffering from this kind of skin condition that
Yes.
she's been battling for
Yes.
years,
Mhm.
hasn't really been able to like get under control.
Yes.
It's been really difficult for
She
her.
calls it a chronic illness.
A chronic
it
illness.
is a chronic
Yes,
illness,
and
yeah.
certain comments, not that like there were many comments on the post, some of them were like very, very supportive, but there were some that like one of them said probably just needs more money on social media. These YouTubers make a lot of money showing their pregnancies, clout babies. And so she clapped back to them. For whatever reason, people were so weird when I said that I hope this baby heals me, but I mean it when I say this baby has already brought me so much healing, both physically and mentally. I hate it every day being in my body and getting pregnant. I've come to appreciate my body and how hard it has worked the last couple of years to fight all the rashes, all the illness, and now to create life and bring our little baby into the world.
As someone who's at a front row seat to my mom having a handful of pregnancies and just like being lucky enough to be around women who have been pregnant, like a pregnancy can be incredibly healing and therapeutic, both physically and mentally. And like, I think it's just so fucking weird for
That someone
people
would like have a
to criticize that, especially someone who really truly has been struggling with her chronic illness that she's been struggling with. And also like there's a huge difference between people who like talk about their family and share their experiences if they're online versus like people who, you know, use their kid as props and clearly are doing like skits with their kids.
If you're teaching your kid a TikTok dance or a trend on TikTok, like that's exploiting your children. Having your children be a part of your social media and just like showing your daily life of like your children
Is just a
is
privacy
just
choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You
just
know.
but I think this is like clearly she has talked about how she has hated her body like feels like it's betraying her or whatever, and so to now be pregnant, it is a sense of like, wait, I do love my body, like it's growing a baby, like and to like be able to have appreciation for her body and love her body again is like totally healing. I totally see what she's talking about. I mean, people talk about all the time, like, you know, me myself having childhood trauma and all this stuff, and like trauma of just like how I was parented and stuff like that. It's like having River is like healing my inner child because I get to parent her the way that like I wasn't, and I get to give her the childhood that like I didn't have or whatever, you know?
Natalie, I completely agree with you. Like, I have definitely like struggled with certain things in my life, and like being pregnant and like going through that whole thing like can be incredibly healing for multiple reasons, emotionally, physically. And I just feel like just in general, people need to like mind their own business when it comes to stuff like that.
It's tough because, you know, the internet is full of them. Well, anyways, we get sending love to Michaela because obviously what she's going through is that, you know, dealing with a chronic skin problem is for anyone difficult, and it sucks. So sending her all the love and good health to her and her child.
Well, breaking news, Karen Huger's sentence finally came out. So if you remember, Nick, this is the Grand Dame from Potomac who this whole season, she was like, the truth will prevail, leave it up to the courts.
And she's the one who referred to herself as Thomas Jefferson's concubine.
Yes.
Yes,
And the
correct.
truth has been prevailed now. So she is sentenced to 2 years in prison with 1 year suspension. The decision means Karen will be behind bars for 12 months. Prosecutors citing Karen's 3 previous DUIs originally asked the judge for 2 years in prison with 6 months suspended for the reality star's latest arrest. And this is amidst her also saying like her lawyers try to take the angle of her parents both passed away years previous. It was hard. So this is after like Karen's team also try to like lighten the load with like her going to rehab and them claiming that she lost her parents in the past year and it was hard for her, and that kind of spiraled her into this like cycle. But yeah, she's going 2 years in prison. So adding another
2 years.
How many Bravos
1 year.
celebrities have gone to prison?
many.
few.
Yeah.
Jen Shaw,
Jen Shaw.
Teresa Giudice.
Monica Garcia, technically. There's a lot that have been arrested. So it's
no,
like
I'm prison. I don't mean arrested.
I saw a list the other day, and it's a long list. But like it depends on what you're considering prison. So like with this one, she was sentenced.
Yeah, prison.
Well, for her, she was sentenced to 2 years in prison, but it's 1 year suspension. So it's like
Like
it
being
depends on what
fully
you-
incarcerated
Mhm.
for any period of time.
Karen Huger will be fully incarcerated for 1 year. The other year, it's just a suspension.
And
Correct,
so
Justin?
Teresa,
It's
Jen
just
Shaw,
the two that have served time in prison.
Yeah.
well, Jen Shaw, Teresa, and now Karen. So 3.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Wes Wilson did support kind of our claims about Lindsay Hubbard not really having a choice about next summer. Wes Wilson thinks there's no way Lindsay Hubbard will be back for Summer House season 10. He responded to the question by saying, "There's no way, I don't know, unless they bring the baby. I don't think I can babysit. I don't know how that works."
Do you think this is more like a Wes Wilson opinion, or do you feel like he has inside information on
I think this is definitely a Wes Wilson opinion.
Yeah, I
This
think
is
he
giving-
always is giving a Wes Wilson
This is
opinion.
giving...
Nobody expected you to babysit.
I
my
don't
guy.
think anyone
Right,
gives
like-
Wes Wilson insider information, but I do think that it's like, I mean, I had the same thought of like, how the hell is she going to make this work?
Yeah. Who in Summer House do you think you would trust to babysit Lindsay's baby?
Sierra, she's a nurse.
Yeah,
Done.
Sierra would be the
Yeah,
only
Sierra.
I think Amanda.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she's
I
good
do
with the
Amanda
dogs.
too.
one. She could if she had to.
Is
but I
Kyle
don't-
there? Because I don't know if his DJ set is gonna if he
Is
can
baby
DJ a
proofed.
lullaby.
I mean,
Yeah,
that entire cast is kind of giving you baby.
yeah.
But
Paige is
Sierra's a
definitely
nurse,
giving you
so
a
Sierra
baby.
takes care of people, and I would trust her to take care
Yeah.
of my
100%.
Sierra,
Yeah.
Sierra could crush it.
Sierra would crush it. Paige would just be in bed on her phone as Sierra's babysitting.
I feel like Paige would kind of be like using a wooden spoon
Yeah.
to like kind of nudge the baby if she had to push it.
Yeah.
Paige is hiring the nanny to watch the baby.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
there you
yes.
go.
Paige will put up funds.
She's like, I can
This
be
thing has been crying. You should do something about it.
Carl is like, I mentally and physically cannot do this.
Well, he's not in the
Um,
room. It's Lindsay's baby.
Yeah. That's true.
Real Housewives of Orange County is filming. Have you been seeing that? Like people are like taking photos of like the cast and stuff.
Well, who cares? Sorry. Let's go a little Beverly Hills before Chanel gets in.
Well, who does care is the friends of a lot of the OC cast members who are also on Beverly Hills.
Speak your
Okay,
truth,
Sutton.
Justin.
Your girl was really on one last night.
She was, but honestly, I'm here
You
with her.
still supported it?
Really?
I think that if you're going to provoke her, then you have to be ready to have someone go low with you.
Here's a question I have for all of you. Who is the most never wrong person in the cast of Beverly Hills Housewives?
Every
Currently?
single one of them.
As of now,
Yeah, like the
Bose.
most.
hands down.
No.
Bose.
Oh.
What I mean by who's the most like in this person's opinion, the most like never wrong.
Sutton.
I think
Well,
they
I don't
all
know.
have
I
their
mean,
moments.
she has stiff competition.
Erica Jane screamed, "I'm
Erica
the victim."
Jane
Yeah.
defended her earrings still to this day, and she could not have been more wrong about that. Kyle, every other episode, she's kind of like talking out of one side and doing another.
I think they all have their moments.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Yeah.
have to all have their moments, or else it is boring television.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they really like this particular cast. I feel like more than any other cast is like really stick their heels in.
I
the
mean,
ground over-
rarely do you get a housewife that is like, you know what? I was wrong.
It does really bother me that the women don't speak up in moments. I feel like it would make for such better television if like at that table when Sutton is saying like, yeah, our wallets don't match and like this and that, and all the women are kind of like, ooh, but no one wants to speak up and say anything, and kind of like, it's like you stand up for like what's right and what's wrong, and like none of these women have anything to fucking say.
You're right. They sit in
Erica
silence and then
did
they
a
wait for their
little bit.
ITMs a little bit. Yeah, they
All
might.
Erica did was, you think you're bigger than her?
Oh, you think you have more money? It's like asking these questions.
Yeah, it is kind of goading.
But it's like even then where it's like you all got silent and had like a sigh that happened unanimously across the table, just like, okay, that was just said. And then you have Garcelle somehow still kind of come back to defend Sutton. And I'm like, just let these two women work it out if that's what you guys are doing. But defending somebody in this situation, fool's errand.
Sutton seemed drunk to begin with.
Well, can we start here? Dorit was 100% provoking Sutton any chance she got. She ordered a water and
maybe.
she said, was that because of our conversation?
100%.
Yeah.
That was
Like
fucked
she
up.
makes, and then she's
Dorit
like,
came to fight.
and Dorit
They both did.
she
Yeah.
perpetuates this narrative consistently that she's a drunk. And like you even have like Faye being like, well, I have the same drinking habits.
The morally corrupt
Well,
Faye
I mean, except that
resident.
like Sutton recently did an interview.
But like every housewife has done that interview where they say their drink order. Like we know Dorit's carcass out. We know her order
Carcass
by
out.
hand of
There's a
like what she
difference between
wants.
an order and like Sutton
Routine.
and Sutton, and I quote, she did an interview and this is a response. I have a drinking regimen that I do, Sutton revealed. At around 10 a.m., I think that's okay for your first cocktail of the day. And then I try to, it's just consistency through the day. Then I'm nicer. So she starts every day at 10 a.m. and then consistently drinks all day. How is that not a drinking problem?
But I think the context is that a lot of housewives have similar drinking
So
habits.
they all have drinking problems.
Well, I'm not saying they have problems. I'm saying Dorit is perpetuating the narrative that it is a problem when it might not be a problem.
But
like everybody's drinking that way. Even Marisol says she has a screwdriver every time. She doesn't drink water. She drinks
Mhm.
vodka. So it's like, you know, like
that
a lot
is
of them are, but a lot of them are doing it. But it's Dorit saying you specifically, Sutton, are a drunk. And then it's even Kyle being like, she has this context of her dad having abuse issues. And like, that's why it is triggering. But no one's acknowledging that.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
but
just saying she's overreacting.
she does seem to have kind of a problem, and it's obviously triggering for her because like, I don't know many people who are heavy drinkers who appreciate anyone else saying anything. So I don't know. I thought Dorit was a savage, and I really love and if you go as low as she did, like that whole line about throwing out, like basically, you know, Dorit's going through a divorce right now. Clearly, she is not has the same financial means as some of her peers, and throwing that in her face, especially that whole episode opened up with. Again, Sutton, you know, we now know that Sutton gets around three, how many
300,000
after taxes a month. And she's like, I mean, and obviously maybe joking with Jennifer Tilly, talking about like she's looking for a billionaire, like as if like it's never enough. But like that line basically suggests that like she marries for money, and then like that, and you know, knowing that's how she accumulated her wealth, and then she's throwing that in Dorit's face as if like that was some sort of accomplishment, or that she's better than Dorit. Or that Dorit doesn't have a place to like speak up or have an opinion in front of Sutton because she's not as like her ex-husband isn't as rich as her ex-husband. I mean, it's
I didn't think it was going low, that comment, but also I think the context of like she is consistently poking Sutton, that I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna poke the bear is gonna like bark back, you know. So it's like,
But who started? I mean,
Bark?
I it's gone
Roar.
back so far, but can anyone really say who started it at this point? I mean,
go back to the OG days when Sutton is like, let the mouse go, Dorit. Like Dorit's always been like going after Sutton. I think out of like love, trying to like understand her, but it's like Sutton's telling you stop poking me.
That's what I was gonna say too, is that I'm like, I think a lot of people give a little too much credit where like I love Dorit, but it's like I don't think Dorit is like super malicious, or like I just think that she says things and maybe doesn't think about how it's gonna affect
Exactly.
somebody, or like the question of like the context. She just says things. So I'm like, I understand that she can be offensive, but even then she sat there across from Sutton and apologized, being like, I am so sorry. I would love to understand why, but you're not even gonna take that apology. And what did Sutton do? Not take the apology.
Was that genuine though? I don't think she was gonna take the apology, but like
She
her
wasn't gonna
apology
take it,
wasn't
no,
no,
genuine.
I had loved what she was like. Okay, let's try.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I'm
so
sorry.
That's
fucking awesome.
If someone did that to you,
Great.
you would be like, girl.
No, of course. Like, listen, they clearly are not. You know,
No.
I'm not saying that Dorit was like pleasant and nice and like the bigger person here. She wasn't at all. I just kind of loved the way she fought a little bit better than Sutton. And I will say that, like, going back to last season, other than Kyle and now Bose, like this rest of this group, they're fucking mean to Dorit. They
Yeah.
fucking bully her
They
and
are.
mock her and talk behind her back. And they're just fucking cruel to her. And if you're Dorit and you're just like, fuck these people, they're constantly minimizing me and condescending me and talking down to me. It is hard for me to see that like Sutton and Garcelle,
And Kyle technically in this scenario.
Kyle sometimes are the ones being picked on
Mhm.
in this group. Because it just, Dorit finally has an ally in Bose.
You know what's interesting? I thought about this is before Sutton and Garcelle and Crystal were like the odd ones out. It was the Fox Four, which was Lisa Rinna, Erica Jane, Kyle Richards, and Dorit. But now that we lost Lisa, Erica had her rough point. It's like they used to be the mean girls, the popular girls of Beverly Hills, according to audience members. Now that that's broken up, it's like we see Garcelle and Sutton as like the ones that are like picking on other people. But it's like, no, it's just that the ones that were picking on others now no longer have the power, you know?
I'm a little confused by this ongoing Mo and Kyle separation. Like, are
I
we?
think they're
I'm just
not telling us something.
I'm just like, get divorced at this point or not. I don't fucking care. But like, I thought this was last year's storyline.
I don't know.
Honestly, yeah. Exactly what you just said.
I genuinely don't know.
I was like, I honestly, that the scene came up and I was like, wait, did Peacock all of a sudden start playing last? I was like, sometimes I put on the wrong episode or something. I was like, what is going on?
They've been separated for a while, but it's like the weird thing is that it's not so much even about the fact that Mauricio's seeing other people. It's like the scandal is that he called paparazzi on himself at an airport.
Which is
Sutton
interesting.
thinks Mo planted the story to get back at Kyle for
The War of Roses.
They're on good terms.
Are they?
I mean,
according to Kyle and Mo, not
Mar-
according to
Was
Sutton,
Mauricio
I
not
guess.
hugging Kyle from crying like 2 episodes ago?
Yeah.
I'll
I
say
don't
one
know,
thing
it's
about Mo
confusing.
and Kyle. They really seem like, despite whatever they're going through, they're not vindictive with each other.
No.
It doesn't feel that way.
I don't think they are.
Oh, well, up next, she is here. Chanel Ayan is about to join us.
This year, there's nothing holding you back from loving your hair again. Hair is so much more than just what you see on the surface. It's a reflection of what's happening on the inside. Let Nutrafol target the key root causes of your thinning hair and help you grow stronger, healthier strands from within. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement trusted by over 1 million people, seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. I've loved Nutrafol for years. It has changed my hair game. I took it before I had a baby. I took it postpartum. It saved me from postpartum hair thinning, and it's just one of the best products on the market. I recommend it to everyone that I know. Everyone's root causes of hair thinning are different, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth just doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas that are tailored to give your hair what it needs to go through postpartum, menopause, as well as different lifestyles such as plant-based diets. All you have to do is purchase online, no prescription required, automated deliveries, and free shipping keep you on track. Plus, with a Nutrafol subscription, you can save up to 20%. You'll have access to free naturopathic doctor consults, and a Headspace meditation membership is included. Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code VIALL. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code VIALL. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code VIALL.
As an adult man, I've really discovered the benefit of slippers. Protect your feet, people. And when it comes to socks and slippers, there's no better place to protect your feet than the good people at Bombas Socks.
Their secret to Bombas is their fabrics. Their merino wool is so cozy and it is perfect for lounging around the house. If you're on the more active side, don't worry. They have athletic socks that perfectly blend comfort and function.
My personal favorites are the slippers. If you hate having your feet cold, then you will love their warm, fluffy Sherpa lining and the marshmallow-like cushioning in these amazing slippers. We have like a very hard surface floor in our house, so like it's amazing just how soft and comfortable these slippers are. They feel absolutely great on your feet. They keep them warm and cozy. Absolutely love them. Bombas knows that the little things can really do make a big difference, so they removed all the itchy tags, fixed that annoying toe seam, and perfected the fit of everything. No more socks that slip down or underwear that rides up. One of our favorite things about Bombas is that no matter what you get, every Bombas item gives back. For every item you purchase, Bombas will donate another item to someone facing homelessness. They've donated 150 million items thanks to purchases like yours. Bombas makes returns and exchanges so easy. If somehow you are not happy with what you get, don't worry because they have a 100% happiness guarantee that covers free exchanges and returns too. So try Bombas now. Head over to bombas.com/VIALL and use code VIALL for 20% off your first purchase at Bombas. That's BOMBAS.com/VIALL. Code again is VIALL at checkout. Bombas.com/VIALL. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we're excited to have you. I don't know if you listen to the show, if you've been keeping up with commentary, but we had a great debate on Tuesday about your and Dave's situation. But we're so thankful and so glad that you're with us today, because obviously a lot of our discussion debate was based off of like things we didn't know and just kind of, what we watched and things like that. So did you listen to that conversation?
I did. Yeah, I'm a big fan of you guys. I've been listening to you guys for a while. And then I was listening yesterday as I was getting ready and I was like screaming at my phone, hearing Natalie like defend me. And I was like, that is my girl. Thank
Yes,
you.
you are my girl.
I feel it.
So like, fuck me, right?
I mean,
Obviously.
Correct.
Yes.
I mean, your words, not mine.
Correct.
Well, thank you for saying it. Thank you for listening. But yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts and feelings about our discussion?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they were all so valid. And I was thinking about how I'm sure there are so many couples and people out there having this exact conversation and like seeing these perspectives. And honestly, I remember thinking those same perspectives at the time too, when we were going through it. Like I was having such a hard time knowing my truth and then like seeing how it was playing out. And I tried so hard to do so much perspective taking, and you like see that a little bit. Where I'm like, this is fair. Like that would suck to get your phone back and have people say things about your new fiance, and then you have to figure out who's right and who's wrong and what's going on. And that wasn't even my argument about it. My argument was like, put me in the room with them. Like they're having all of these conversations that I'm not part of, and they have these like pieces of evidence that are not true. Just like, let me speak to them. And that wasn't happening. So that was where most of my frustration was coming from. And I feel that now watching it back.
I know the frustration also of just knowing something is true, but there's just no way for you to prove anything. So you're just like, there's nothing for me to do, but like, that's just not true. Like him being so hell-bent on you, like spending the night with him before you left. And it was like, your girlfriends were even like, no, she was with us. And he's just like, I don't know what to believe. I was screaming at the TV.
What is the truth or your truth? I mean, let's just say, what is the truth as you see it, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, and you'll like see this play out a little bit more, but I was not with him the weekend before I left. I saw him like a week before. It really was a very like how do I say this? It was a friends with benefits situation. It started where we were like, maybe there could be a romantic connection there, but then casting conversations are happening for months. And like, he knew that I was having that. And so he was like, we can keep things casual. It honestly felt like best of both worlds for both of us at the time, because like he was dating other people too. He was going on dates. I remember seeing his picture on like, are we dating the same guy? People were setting up dates with him. So we were both, I felt like things were very clear that we were not romantically interested in each other.
So were you two having conversations about you potentially going on this show while you guys were hanging out occasionally?
Yeah, we didn't talk about it a ton, mainly because like we weren't really like sitting there having a lot of conversations, but it definitely came up.
Were you ever like wondering if like this was like a smart decision, so to speak, based off of the fact that you might go on the show? And I you know, obviously like you have every right to do whatever the fuck you want outside of the show. I just like going on the, you know, I'm sure you are a fan, like you said, a fan of the show. You've watched the show. I'm sure you've seen drama and fights about past actions, you know, and what could come up. I imagine when you were going through the casting process, like most people, it's kind of like first you don't even think you're going to get casted. And then if you get casted, you're thinking probably show up, nothing will happen. You're certainly not expecting to make a connection. You're certainly not expecting to get engaged. So I get all that. Did it ever cross your mind that like, ooh, maybe like this is a little messy choice given like what you were potentially willing to say yes to if given the opportunity?
Yes and no. I remember thinking with this guy, like, okay, I'm having these conversations to potentially go on a show where I could get married. Do I like this guy enough to like, because here is this connection that I have in one way. Do I like this guy enough to say, fuck the show, I'm going to pursue things with her or with him? And I remember being like, no, I don't like him enough to do that, to like make that sacrifice and not go on this experience. And in terms of, again, we had come off of, I think when we were filming, we were watching the season with Trevor and his girlfriend. And I remember I was like kind of freaking out in the moment and being like, oh my God, is this how the world is going to see me now that this is all playing out? But again, at the time, I'm basing my perspective on what my narrative was and like my truth with this guy. And so I just never in a million years thought that this would be part of the story at all.
Gotcha. What would you have loved to see Dave do differently in that moment?
Just letting me be part of the conversation with his friends that were chirping in his ear about it. I just wanted to talk to them, wanted to compare stories.
Do you know why they refused? Was it just like not wanting to get involved in the show or being on camera? Or do you get any inkling as to why they were?
Or was it Dave being like, I'm not allowing my friends?
Yeah.
I truly think that his friends and his sister were basing the decisions on their involvement or not on what Dave was telling them.
You think Dave was in the driver's seat here?
Mm-hmm, I do.
Okay. All right. Okay. Interesting.
Have you seen, I mean, I'm sure you have, but your ex's, not even ex, what are we calling him? Your friend, your ex-friend.
I'll be really nice. Yeah.
Your ex-friend's Photoshop pictures of him in the Love is Blind casting.
That was very embarrassing for him.
It was embarrassing. And it also, like, I remember being like, this really proves my point. Like, you are helping me with this story here.
Yeah.
I was like, I rest my case.
Yeah, like you look crazy. Why are you're not on this show? Why are you trying to act like you are on this show? Like that does scream a little delusional to me. So it would be hard for me. And obviously, I guess what Dave didn't see any of this stuff during filming or anything like that. I mean, I know your friends were kind of saying to him, like, he was DMing us or texting us saying, like, should we blow up this wedding? Like, love is blind, blah, 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 whatever. Which would scream to me like maybe this guy isn't as trustworthy as some people think.
He knows Dave's people. Like,
they have like a mutual friend. Very Minnesota. They have like a mutual friend.
Yeah.
So they knew of each other.
I'm from Milwaukee. I get it.
As you're gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. That's wild. When the next batch comes out, we'll get some resolution on whatever happens between the two of you guys.
Between Dave and I?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see that kind of continue to play out.
Did you feel in that moment that he was just trying to find a way out of the marriage?
I do. Yes, that definitely came up. And I think I might have even said that to him at one point. Like, there are a lot of outs you can take, and you'll see him, or you have seen him try to take outs where he has conversations about his sister. And there's some other stuff that comes up that I'm like, are you just trying to find the out that sticks the most right now? And obviously this guy was, I think, the biggest one. So yeah, I did have that at that time. I don't know if I like fully listened to my gut as much as I should have on it in the moment.
Were there other signs from Dave that suggested that he was looking for an out in general, or was it mostly based off of this situation?
There are a couple other things that come up. Like, you'll see some other things that I think makes Dave question if we should be getting married or not. And I don't think that they have anything to do with me and more to do with where his head was at.
At the time in which this drama happened, how all in were you as far as marriage goes? You know, or like, I guess my question is just like, I'm trying to figure out with this process, like, are some people like, fuck it, I'm engaged and we're gonna get married unless something bad happens? Or is it, we got engaged and like, we have 4 weeks to figure out whether we're gonna get married or not?
That was definitely going into this experience, obviously you're hopeful for what could come, but like, I just have never, you see me at one point say, I've never felt this like connected to someone so quickly. And so I surprised myself how invested I got with him and with this experience. And you see me like fight for it really hard. And so I did see marriage. I remember thinking like, okay, we'll get married, we'll break up, or we'll not get married, but we'll stay together. And all of those at the time felt like potential next steps for us. But yeah, marriage was definitely on the table for sure for me.
Watching it back, that whole in the kitchen where you're kind of cooking, preparing for the friends, and this kind of all explodes. Watching it back, did you have any like regrets of what you wish you would have said or wouldn't have said?
Honestly, no, because I think looking back, like I tried to explain things in so many different ways and tried to really understand his perspective and then like speak to that. I think at that point, there was nothing I could have said or done differently to have Dave see it.
I will say, I feel like the fact that he couldn't, you being so vulnerable and saying like, I'm feeling really disconnected from you. Can you please stay here tonight? And him saying no, I think was the biggest sign of like, this man should not be your husband.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that has been pretty jarring to watch back. And it happens too when he meets my friends and I get emotional and there's like not a lot of comfort happening. And I felt that in the moment. And it's really sad to watch it back and feel that again.
It's interesting because I completely agree with Natalie with that statement. But, if I'm still trying to like empathize with this whole situation, like I think two things can be true at the same time. Like I can understand Dave having a hard time processing this rumor, because that's what it is, rumor, which has like maybe some truth to it, but obviously it's coming from someone who obviously has an alternative agenda and things like that. But to Natalie's point, regardless of what the truth is, Dave demonstrated, basically an inability to cope while struggling with his own emotions and needing to be there for his partner who's also struggling. And he was basically saying, I need to be alone so that I can figure this out. And regardless of what you're going through, like, that's not my problem, because my problem is you. It
was like my needs come first.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I remember thinking too, like, your friends are giving you this whole different narrative. And every time you talk to them, you get like more angry at me or more confused about the situation. So if you and I are supposed to be a team, why are we continuing to go back to those people and have the same conversations that are not productive at all?
Especially without you there to be like, that's not true.
Did you feel any type of way about his comments regarding Molly or feelings towards Molly outside of the show? Or do you feel like that was maybe dramatized a little bit for TV?
I think it was a little more dramatized than it felt in the moment. And like Molly and I are friends and we've talked since about conversations that they've had. So I knew that obviously they knew that they had a connection and I knew that he was validating her as well as me. And so watching it back, I wasn't too surprised. I kind of had a feeling that that was the story.
Okay.
Random question, but going back to your first night on the honeymoon vacation-y, whatever we call that in Honduras, you talked about getting like a bikini wax and you were like, I can't work out or have sex for 24 hours. Like, I'm really bummed. And they kind of made the cutting of it, made it seem like you were saying you're really bummed that you can't have sex. Is that what you were referring to? Or were you referring to like not being able to work out?
Okay, that edit shocked me because that's not what I was saying. I was telling him that I got a wax and then I had a spin class scheduled for that night. And they were telling me that you can't work out, you can't have sex, you can't do any of these things. And I was so bummed because I hadn't worked out in like 2 weeks. And my jaw was on the floor. I was like, I don't talk like that.
It read that way of just like, that's not what, that's
You're so
not
bummed
what
you can't get
said.
some dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in what world would I have said that? Oh my God. I'm glad there have been people that messaged me and they were like, this editing looked a little wonky. And I'm like, thank you.
I know Natalie, obviously, in our great debate the other day, used Dave's interest in other people's sex life as kind of a justification for like Dave, not taking sex seriously. But I didn't see it that way. I kind of see it as him just, again, I think a lot of people in these atmospheres are very curious about what other people are doing. There's a lot of confusion. I also think just because you have a one night stand doesn't mean sex means nothing to you ever in general. It's just like, I think it's situational basis. But how did you see Dave's line of questioning to his peers as it relates to your relationship?
I mean, I think in terms of him asking other people, like that clip of scenes, I remember thinking like, one thing Dave is going to do is be himself. And you see him say, I was just genuinely curious and he just wanted to talk to people about it. I don't know. It didn't surprise me that he was having those conversations because he speaks his mind and doesn't really filter through questions.
Did you ever tell Dave that despite, him thinking they're jokes, that sometimes they're not funny?
I mean, the way some of his jokes, especially in the pods, were portrayed, it comes off much more serious than it felt in the moment. Like, it was very lighthearted. He would always follow it up with like a laugh or a like, and again, I know that if he said anything absolutely insane, there'd be a line to cross, but like it felt very bantery in the moment. It's hard to watch back and have people see it very differently.
I mean, listen, reality TV is not a safe space for sarcasm or any type of like humor in general, because it definitely can and often is used against you. So yeah, I definitely watch those moments with a careful eye, so to speak.
Going back to that moment in the kitchen, I kind of stood on this like he was platforming information that wasn't true on your end on national television to kind of like, in my opinion, shame you for like your choices in your sex life. Did you feel that way, or is that me just like projecting my feelings?
I did. And I remember, like I said, when we were having this conversation, I was like, I feel crazy right now. Like, I feel like my communication is not getting through and I feel like a slut. And like, I hadn't really felt that before. Like, again, you see me say, I've never had to defend my character like this. Like, I don't understand why this thing is like the end all be all for me and the kind of person I am right now. So yeah, I remember saying like, my Nona watches this show, my boss watches this show, and we are just airing out my sexual history for the world.
Yeah, I know.
It's a tough situation given just like what the show is about, and it's hard to avoid some of these conversations without,
But also, obviously, every second isn't filmed. And so it's like, if he genuinely cared about you and thought about like, oh, maybe there's like some falseness to this. Like, I should ask her when cameras aren't around so that she doesn't feel like I'm like putting her sex life on blast.
That's true.
He didn't
He's definitely
choose
not.
to do that.
He definitely wasn't overly considerate and empathetic to how this might affect you. That is clear.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was curious about your perspective about some of the other people in relationships, but was Madison as messy and toxic as she came across on the show?
I don't know. It's hard to answer because I was so focused on my own shit. I'm focused on Dave. There's a little bit of stuff going on with Molly. I talked about this before too, but I was talking to Mason up until like a couple of days towards the end too, and I had no idea that he was having any of these conversations with Meg or Madison. So I was shocked to see it all come to a head.
Oh, wow.
I think you kind of see Meg and Madison handle things differently and like approach it differently. But I wouldn't say I left. Like, I remember leaving and people were like, how were the girls? Were they all insanely toxic? And I'm like, no, everyone was just trying their best. And that looked different for different people.
Watching it back, do you feel like Madison got screwed over? Because I really quite liked his relationship with Meg. Again, don't know if this is editing or whatever, but it sure seemed like Madison sabotaged that relationship because she didn't get her way.
Yeah, I'm going to be so honest with you guys. I skipped through a lot of those scenes.
Fair enough.
I was watching mine, and I wanted to make sure that I understood the story.
Respect.
But
Honestly.
I didn't fully get what was going on in the lounge at the time, and I still don't fully get it. Like, honestly, you guys have probably a better perspective on it than I do.
So we have an opinion, but like we just sometimes context matters and sometimes context is lost in these episodes. So we were definitely curious.
Yeah.
When you met everyone, was there anybody that you were surprised that you talked to in the pods, but you were surprised by like meeting them physically, like what their appearance was versus their voice?
Oh, like the guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, was there anyone who like you met in person, you're like, fuck, damn, they're definitely
Or like,
my
that's
type.
not what I thought he looked like, or...
It is funny to think back because, like, I'm sure as a viewer, you're probably like, okay, I wonder how they think the other person looks. But I really tried to not spend too much time putting people in these like physical boxes. I was shocked Joey had long hair. I had no idea that that's what he looked like. I remember, I'm trying to think about anyone else. There wasn't anyone I was super surprised by, and there wasn't anyone that I was like, oh, damn, like I made a mistake. Like,
Well, they honestly all look the same, so it's not
exactly
like,
copy paste.
Copy and paste. What did you think of the whole Ben and Sarah? Did you watch that kind of where he had an ex from 4 years pop up?
Yeah, that, to use Nick's words, I remember at the time thinking two things can be true. Ben could have not been a good partner to women in the past. And this girl on TikTok also really wants her 15 minutes of fame and wants some clout. Like, I remember really seeing both of those pieces. And I don't know, it was hard to watch Sarah be conflicted on how to look at things. And I think she did such a good job of saying, I'm not going to dismiss her. And I trust you, but like, I'm remembering this, or I'm not like dismissing this information.
Well, after getting to know Ben, I don't know how much you did get to know him, but do you feel like maybe these accusations from the past have any truth to them or not?
I definitely think there's a reason that there are these conversations happening with many women, not just that one TikTok girl.
With Ben? Are there other?
Yeah.
There's others.
Well, I think like if you, and again, this is another like, don't go watch that TikTok and like give her attention, but like there are people having conversations about that and validating her in ways.
So she's getting support under her post being like, me too, girl, type of thing.
Well, more so when that was happening at the time, like there were comments in that video or like people saying things to her like, oh yeah, I also knew Ben, or I had this experience. There were some of those conversations.
And what was the general accusation? That he just basically ghosted her?
Yeah.
There was also YouTube cards.
Yeah, did you see
left at hookups?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
He was leaving his like YouTube business cards where he like was a YouTuber.
He would hook up with
after
girls and leave
sex.
it behind.
What?
I wonder how many subscribers he got.
It's a tough look.
Tough, yeah.
That's tough.
Do you think he got the platinum thing? I sure hope
A plaque?
so. Yeah.
I wonder what his YouTube videos were of. Do we know?
I mean, the
His
internet's written in ink.
Yeah.
You know, like he's giving these to women he's had sex with. So like, what is his content?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, I'm even more intrigued now. Any other questions for Lauren before we let her go?
Lauren, is there anything else you feel like you want to clear up, whether it's like something you saw that you felt wasn't portrayed as you remembered,
or maybe just like before the next batch comes out, giving us a heads up, or just like something to look for, as we consume these next batch of episodes?
I don't think that there's anything I'd like to clear up. I do think that they're doing a good job of like telling our story in the way that it felt in the moment. And there's like a lot of frustration with that. Unfortunately, I don't think the frustration is done after this week. There'll be a little bit more to come there.
Great.
Okay.
But like, let me cook.
Do you think we will want to have you back on this show to unpack your entire story with Dave?
Maybe in person, sitting on this couch.
And it like, because we want the drama.
I mean, I personally think you'll want to have me come back in
Yes,
person,
of course.
Me like tooting my own horn.
Why wouldn't we?
Lauren, thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you carved some out of your very busy work schedule. So thank you. We appreciate it. And we look forward to watching the rest of your journey unfold.
Team Lauren forever.
I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love
for
you
having
too.
me.
All right. Take care.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Well, that's very interesting. So she hooked up with him a week before filming?
She didn't say she hooked up. She said she saw him. She didn't say that she hooked up.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
said
what
she-
else?
no, no, no.
What
wait.
else do you,
What
do with your friend?
buddy?
Better fit.
Actually, on the show, she said they got ice cream. That was
maybe
the last time she saw him.
maybe
was
it
that
was
they got
the
ice
kind
cream.
of like-
sometimes we got ice cream before and after.
Okay, but maybe it was I'm going on the show. We're not going to see each other anymore. Ice cream.
Yeah, like I
Ooh,
leave
well,
on
if they had-
Tuesday
if
to
they
go
had
Add
a
a
party.
little
good-
salty tears
If they
into
had
your
a
salted
goodbye, then
caramel.
that makes it a little bit more than just fucking.
I don't know.
You don't need to say goodbye to your fuck buddy.
There's a season of Vanderpump Rules where Jax has a girlfriend and he invites her to pizza, and then she thinks they're having a date, and he's like, you're going to college. I just don't see myself going with you.
You're going to college.
She's like going to grad school or something.
Oh,
yeah.
God
Oh,
damn.
thank God.
Jesus Christ.
Thank God.
Math isn't mathing.
Poor girl.
But like, would we be surprised?
I wouldn't have been surprised, but I'm just surprised it was not.
I will say, Lauren and Jax Taylor do not have much in common.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you guys still feel the way. She didn't change my opinion.
I mean, she confirmed mine.
She definitely confirmed mine of that
She
she felt
confirmed mine as
slut shamed. She felt judged.
But I'm not defending Dave. I'm defending sex.
Well, thank God.
But I think that's a different argument.
That was the argument I was trying to make while you guys were all yelling at me that I should stop.
Well, someone told me I
Dave.
need a muzzle, so I won't be yelling any longer.
A lot of people who do this show, as someone who's been on these types of shows, nothing I find more kind of frustrating or just kind of shows that you haven't done these shows when people say you know what you signed up for or you signed up for this, because I don't think Dave, Lauren, and anyone in this cast has any clue truly what they signed up for. They got the log line of like what the show's about. They've seen previous season, but until you're in that fucking crazy universe, you really don't know. And to that end, I give Lauren grace for, making the decisions that she did. But I also appreciate that, Dave was struggling with like questioning how serious she was. I think Natalie made a great point that regardless of who thought what or when, this issue revealed Dave's kind of shortcomings as a potential future partner. And I think more than anything that was telling, because like, regardless of what happened, two people who are like weeks away from marriage, he clearly is someone who is incapable of like, allowing his partner to also be in a space that he was in and working through it together, rather, completely disconnecting and then emotionally abandoning his partner.
Which I do feel like is a huge red flag in general in relationships. Like
Yeah.
if your partner can't like put their pride aside and like just be in the same room as you.
Or just, work through it together,
Yeah.
like talk through it. And,
even if you're like, let's platform this, let's talk about it tomorrow, but like we'll just watch a movie, we'll get dinner, like it'll be fine. He couldn't even do that. He was like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
yeah, that was
Just
it.
left
Yeah.
her to sleep alone in this apartment that's not even hers. Like,
Yeah. I feel like my biggest issue with Dave was not that he was frustrated with Lauren having someone before the show, like less of the sex thing and more of just he didn't believe her when she told him. It's not like she was being cagey. It very much presented itself as like she is telling the truth from her perspective, and this is a firsthand account of what happens. Her friends are corroborating this, and he is just completely not seeing her.
It definitely wasn't like the Ben of it all when confronted by Sarah, was like, I don't remember. I don't know.
The story's
I don't know.
changing.
I
It's a different
saw it a
story,
while.
though.
I know, but
Yeah.
I think just like the little bit of caginess that he did have, just of like already seeing the video and not showing it to her or bringing it up to her, letting her find it on her own, and then being like, yeah, I already blocked her. I forgot what happened. Like, that's a little cagey and would give Sarah reason to be like, I don't know. I'm kind of struggling with believing you. But
even then,
Lauren
Sarah
was like, here it all is.
Sarah saw Ben and was like, I'm taking what you're saying into consideration while also like taking what this girl is saying into consideration. And Dave just like was not taking Lauren's words into consideration
At all.
is what it read to me as.
I mean,
That
Sarah,
may be true, but I think this rumor caught him off guard, and I think whether right or wrong, I think he didn't expect this to come out, and then he had an expectation. That expectation wasn't met, and in any situation, when you have an expectation, it's not met. It fucks you up, and you have a hard time getting back to that kind of.
You know what I bet? I bet Dave is probably my perception of him is probably correct, and he is listening to the show to only get what he should be saying from you. He's like, no. I it was hard because the rumor, it really messed with my brain.
He's looking at the corner of the Zoom screen.
He's
like,
taking
this-
notes for the reunion. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did we find out any more about Ben and this
The YouTube is not linked in his Instagram. There's no YouTube under his full name.
I found his YouTube channel, but it's completely wiped.
It exists.
Okay, so
It does exist.
That motherfucker got right on it
It
as soon
says
as.
apparently this man would leave his YouTube card for women after he slept
What
with
is a
them.
YouTube card?
Like
So-
he made
Like a
a business
business
card.
card
with YouTube on it, his face, and his app. So you can go follow him.
It didn't say YouTube, it said YouTuber.
Yeah.
YouTuber.
I brought-
I'm going to make a theory.
That's fucking
sports
brutal if it's
commentating.
true.
Sports commentating.
It
He was a
exists.
baseball player.
I brought this up on Pop not too long ago where I was like, oh, look, I saw this. It's wild. I don't know who the cast member is because this came out before the show released.
That's almost as brutal as Sutton was last night's episode. We'll get into that later. Your girl was on one, bro.
And I'm ready.
My wallet.
I prepared.
That was fucking wild. Well, up next, we have the iconic Chanel Ayan with us to get into all sorts of topics, especially her little interaction with Will Smith that she's on the same flight with him on the way here
Plane
to
buddies.
the show. Yeah, they're plane buddies.
And she wasn't afraid to say hi.
Nope.
She's not afraid of
She's not
anything.
afraid.
She's
She's
not afraid to DM me
fearless.
and
She
tell
is
what did
Taylor
what did
Swift
she say I was?
fearless.
Full of myself? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll talk about that with her and more. All right, first question. Is it Chanel or is it Ayan?
So my real name is Ayan, which means lucky, because my mom had 9 girls and one
Mom had
boy.
9 girls. 9 girls and 1 boy?
Yeah, so we're 11. But my father has 30-something kids. My father fucked everybody in the village.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's normal in my village, right? So then Chanel, I gave it to myself because I watched a movie about Chanel, and her life story was basically a little bit like mine, where her dad lived in the same town, but had another family, but never cared about them. So I kind of was like, oh, that's so cool. So I just named my name Chanel Ayan. So it stuck.
Love that.
Yeah.
I wish I had the confidence to just rename myself sometimes.
Why would you? You look good. By the way, I bullied your husband one time.
Oh my gosh. He hasn't slept
I didn't
since
know.
finding those messages. He's been awake every single
Thankfully,
night.
I didn't read my DMs.
And I
but
just saw
why
him.
did you bully me?
I'll tell you first. And I just saw him walked out to say hi. And literally I was like, he's the most good-looking man I have ever seen in America. By the way, my husband is very hot. He's from Idaho.
That's coming.
He's from
That
Idaho.
means a
Yeah,
lot.
my husband's from
That
Idaho.
means a lot coming from you because
Yes.
I don't feel like you say things just to be nice.
No. You see, I left you to read my stuff that I said about you to 2017 because I'm a real bitch. So, so I wanted you to see what I felt at that moment. But yeah, why did I say that to you? I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember. But but the truth
Doesn't
is,
matter.
The truth is, I was in Idaho
Mm.
and I was bored in my family's cabin, and you came on TV,
Mm.
okay? And I was just like, okay, he's young, and you are with my favorite human being that said I was the most nicest person he's ever met in his life, beside his wife, Wells.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, I love him so much. So, anyways,
He's nicer than me.
he's such a kind soul. But we'll get to know each other. I'll decide later.
Okay.
But so far, I feel like you're great.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
honestly, I feel
I have
like
a
good
hard
ideas.
candy shell, but I'm soft in the middle.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You really can tell. Your eyes is kind.
Oh.
Yes.
does.
Okay.
When he loves you, he loves you.
I can
Yeah.
tell.
If
And your wife
if
is
you
beautiful.
got, if you got
by
me
the
on your
way.
side,
Yeah.
I'm a good ally.
Really?
loyal.
I'm terrible.
Yeah.
I'm a bad enemy.
Really?
And like you, I feel like, and I don't really know you that
Yeah.
well, but I just don't have the time for bullshit.
Same. I
You
really
know,
have no
it's
time
like-
because I feel like life is so short. And also I think because the way I grew up, it's like I grew up in a very small village. Okay. Nobody has left my village except my family.
Wow.
Okay. So it's like and I grew up in a very abusive home and I grew up with a single mom. So I saw a lot of things. So I have no time for bullshit or bad energy. You get what you see. If I like you, you will know. If I don't like you, you will know immediately. I'm very outspoken. Are you like that?
Yeah, I think so.
I love that.
I think so.
Yes.
Have you ever, other than like, people you see on TV or online, have you ever been wrong about someone you met in person about like how you thought they were?
Yes. And I like Karen Huga. I know something's happening with her today.
Yeah, she's
but
going to
when I
jail.
first met her at BravoCon, because I watched her and I was like, oh my God, she's a very strong woman, very opinionated. And when I met her, she was such a soft person, very kind, very welcoming. Whatever she's going through right now, it's really hard to see where she is. And I wish her nothing but the best in life. And I think she has time to process things that she's going through and come out in a better way.
Yeah, we definitely wish her the best.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously alcohol is a terrible drug and it can do
Yes.
terrible things and,
Yeah.
and it, it's a sickness for people who, are addicted to it. And I don't know if that's what's going on with her, but she seems like she's struggled with consumption
Yeah.
from time to time. So hopefully she
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah, I
gets
don't
whatever
think
help
there's
she needs.
alcohol in jail. So I think it's a good thing that she will
Mm-hmm.
be better. I wish her nothing but the best.
Have you been able to talk to her at all?
No. So she actually reached out to me long time ago. She wanted to visit Dubai with her daughter, who's beautiful. Love her. Met her in BravoCon. So she asked me about Dubai and I was hoping she would come. But like I said, she's a really nice human being. Apart from when you see on TV and you see like, okay, these people are crazy, but she's actually really down to earth. She's very open. She's very loving. So with that, I just feel like that's one of them. Nini Lex.
Oh, love her.
Okay, like a really good friend now. Because when you see people on TV, you're like, oh my God, they're so tough. Kenya Moore,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh wow, they're actually like really girls. So yeah. And with you, we'll see the more we keep going.
We'll see.
I feel like people.
We'll see.
I feel like people.
We'll see.
I do like surprising people.
I love that too.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Kenya.
Yes, I grew up in Kenya until I was 18. And then I met my husband from Boise, Idaho.
How'd you
How
meet?
did you meet him?
I met him in a restaurant and he told me he was American. And immediately I was like, I'm going to marry him because I wanted his passport.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was in Kenya?
So he was in Kenya visiting, and I was like, I saw him, he was so hot. So the first time I ever saw a white person, I was 9 years old in my village. So I didn't know white people existed. And the first time I watched a movie was a Van Damme movie. And he was
Jean-Claude Van
so
Damme?
hot. Yeah. He was so good looking with muscles and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
So when I met my husband, I'll send you the picture when I met my husband, okay? And he literally looked like him. And I was just like, wow, where are you from? He goes, I'm American. I was like, ooh, darling, I do need to go to America.
Hotter.
He became hotter and hotter because I don't believe in people marrying for love. Okay, I think that
Oh.
you should marry because love comes later. Okay. Because when I first met my husband, I'm not going to say like, oh my God, I was in love immediately.
Love
We're
at first
married
sight.
26 years. Because when you fall in love immediately and be like, I love this person immediately, I feel like it's more like a lust than you fall in love. But also because I grew up really in a bad home. So for me, I wanted a good life because I saw my mom struggling a lot. So I always wanted to have the best. Okay, we're still married 26 years. Okay.
That's incredible.
Yeah, happily married. We have a gorgeous son who's 18 going to college. So yeah.
You have an 18-year-old son?
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
Thank you. I look good,
Wow.
right?
Yeah, you
Great.
do.
Thank you. It's black, don't crack.
I don't know how old you were. I don't know how old you are.
I'm
and if you told me
50.
you're 50,
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I did a test in my show. They said I was 50 years old.
This happened on Dubai last season, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But it's just easy. It's like I do a lot of things that I saw my culture people do that's cheap.
Like what? Give us
So
some
literally,
tips.
you know turmeric?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just put turmeric and honey once a week on my face because it removes inflammation. It makes your skin glowing, and it's just like
have the best
literally
skin I've ever
costs
seen
you
in my
nothing.
life.
Huh?
You have the best skin I've ever seen in my life.
Ah, Oh,
It's
okay, we gonna,
turmeric and
okay,
honey.
we gonna love each
Yeah.
other. I love that.
I
So it's
know.
turmeric and honey.
Yeah, just put turmeric on it. But you have gorgeous skin.
Well,
No,
You
seriously.
have great skin.
thank
have
you,
great
thank you. But I
skin.
would love to have
You
your kind
too.
of skin. So it's just it's turmeric and honey.
I just want to
Yeah,
see
just
Natalie
turmeric
walking
and
around with
honey.
honey
Huh?
all over her face.
I will be. I will.
Yeah, that's it. Like I just do that and I try to drink a lot of water.
Mhm.
And also like it's very important to do you talk about sex in your podcast?
Oh, you
Oh
can
my
say whatever
God.
you want.
Oh yeah, it's very important to fuck.
Yeah.
Like it's so good for your body, for your mind, for your health. So that helps a lot. You know what I mean?
How many times a week do you and yours husband
Oh,
have
we don't have
sex?
a schedule. Like
No.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like when it happens, it happens. When you're
Yeah.
on a heat, you just
When you're
do
on
it.
heat. Yeah, no,
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, yes.
So relatable. Yeah.
So Will Smith.
Huh?
Will Smith.
Oh my God,
Was that crazy?
babes. That was
How did
okay.
you approach him?
So
Why-
actually,
maybe he approached
this is
her.
what happened. I was in first class, okay, and Maria told me, "Oh my God, did you see Will Smith just came into the plane?" And I was like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, but he locked his cabinet." So it's 15 and a half hours flight. And his cabinet was next to mine. So I didn't sleep on the plane because I was waiting for him to wake up so I can say hello, take pictures, ask questions. Because I have questions, okay?
Yeah.
I have deep questions that I need to know because I'm nosy bitch. So I was keep looking at his son and then he slept for 10 hours. And then the next 5 hours he woke up and he went to take shower. Okay. So he went because there's shower in the first class. So I was waiting and then he passed and he waved at me. I was like, okay, we're gonna be friends. We're gonna talk. So by the time I went to talk to him, I know his son Jaden because my son models and we were together in London. So that was easy saying, hey, I know your son. How are you doing? And I was like, I love The Pursuit of Happiness, my favorite movie. I made my son watch like 10 times. And then we talked about Traitors. I asked him about Men in Black and he was laughing. He was so good.
Did you ask anything about the slap at the Oscars?
No,
Ah.
because I didn't ask him about that. But I feel like that was a planned situation because there's a lot of Illuminati stuff in here in Hollywood. It's my first time in
Yeah.
Hollywood, by the way.
Oh
Your
yeah.
first time?
Yeah, first time. And my husband was born here,
Wow.
but I've never been because they live in Idaho. So usually I just fly through the airport and go to Idaho. So I've never really like seen LA.
Wow.
Like this is my first time. And you guys have a lot going on.
Yeah,
People
it's a
live-
lot going
People
on.
live on the streets.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
I'm
it's not-
staying,
It's not perfect.
no,
for
why? We're humans and we should, like, it really is so sad. And I don't know, they're like frozen. We don't
know.
have that in Dubai.
You don't?
No, not at
Oh,
all. You never see
really?
that. I mean, also in Africa, I'm not gonna lie, you know, in America, they like to do these movies like, oh, in Africa, people are starving.
Yeah.
There's no food. There's no this. It's all persona. I mean, there are some places that are not like that, but we have a lot of wealthy people in Africa.
Right.
But even when I go home, I don't get to see that.
Yeah.
So I was a
Mhm.
bit shocked yesterday.
Really?
Oh.
It's right,
Yeah.
right in your
Huh?
face here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really like sad about it. Yeah.
What are some of the rules in Dubai that obviously we don't have here in America?
So in Dubai, usually like you can't live in Dubai if you cannot afford to live in Dubai.
Okay.
Like you just cannot live in Dubai.
So,
So
it's
that-
all rich people.
No, it's not all rich people. It's everybody with a job. Everybody, because you
Okay.
need to get visa to
Okay.
live there.
Mhm.
You have to do your medical. You have to have like I said, job. So you have to have that.
Okay.
It's very important. You have to have medical insurance to live in Dubai.
Wow.
So there's so many rules that you have to live there. So if, for example, if you lose your job, it's very tough because it's a very expensive city. You know, you have to leave.
And can your job be like remote? You know, like for
In
example, yeah, if I moved
Yeah.
to Dubai and
Yeah, yeah,
still
yeah.
did this show
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and, you know, had my team here, they would be
Yeah.
like, cool, as long as you're making money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot
okay.
of money in Dubai. People make a lot of money in Dubai. Yeah.
You said your husband is from Idaho. So how did you end up in Dubai?
Oh, with my husband. So when I married my husband when I was 18 for opportunities, okay. So
Make it clear it was for opportunities.
Straight up.
I love her.
you know,
Keep it
but
real.
then because I don't think like women should marry somebody and struggle. You know what I mean? I feel like women should marry somebody that can take care of them. Okay, be the breadwinner.
Mhm.
That's in my culture. Maybe it's different. I come from a culture that men take care of their wives and children.
The South, it's like
Okay.
that too. I'm from the South, and
Yeah?
it's similar to that. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I've never been. I want to go.
It's
Where?
it's
Where in
lovely.
South?
Savannah, Georgia. You would love
Beautiful.
it. It's
Oh,
beautiful.
that's Atlanta, right?
Close, like 3
Close?
hours away. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I
You
love
should go.
Southern
It's
people.
Beautiful.
I love how they speak. I love the accent, everything. Yeah.
Give it, girl, a little some.
Yeah. So what was the question again? I'm ADHD.
How did you end up in Dubai?
Oh, yeah. So then when I married my husband, we moved to Brazil. and I was going to marry my cousin.
Uh-huh.
Okay. My cousin was very good looking. There was no problem with me not marrying my cousin. It's part of my culture. And then when I met my husband, I was like, oh my God, he literally reminds me of Van Damme. So I was like, this is my dream. You know, I want to marry him. I want to get out of my village. I want to have better opportunities in life. So we moved to Brazil, got married in Brazil. And then from Brazil, we moved to Dubai. And then I went to Idaho. And then I didn't know that Idaho. So I thought America is LA in the movies and New York.
Yeah.
Like big houses, white children. Like my husband's family had a big house, okay? But like you see a lot of people. When I moved to Idaho, I literally 20-something years, I couldn't find Black people.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, there was no Black people in Idaho.
Like
When I found one, I was so excited. We became best friends. Like we're still friends till today. Like we became best friends. I was like, oh my God, you know? But it was so cute because I was so young. Everybody is very friendly in Idaho. They are very welcoming. So that's how I ended up in, I got confused. Dubai. Then Boise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like they voted you off on Traitors or killed you? Like,
Jealousy. Honestly, it was jealousy. Like you can see, like Caroline did an interview and said that I was funny whether I was on camera or off camera. Okay. And Bob, the drag queen, actually, I love him. The moment I saw him, I was like obsessed. He's so tall, right? And he's funny too, you know, and we were having fun with everybody. But I could just feel, honestly, every 5 seconds, he's like, you're so funny. You're really, really funny.
you were competition.
Everybody likes you. and everybody likes me because when everybody died, I'm not kidding you, most of the cast reached out to say hi, saying that they missed me when I left because it was a bit boring when I left because I was making them have fun, you know. And I really worked hard to stay.
Yeah.
You know, because at one point when we did the Roro on the boat, I thought I was going to die because I didn't understand what was going on. So Wells, my bestie for life, was helping me to understand the game because I got the show 4 days before I arrived. And they don't show Traitors in Dubai. Okay. So I saw clips of Fedra. So I never watched the whole entire show.
Right.
So I remember I messaged Andy and I was like, Andy, by the way, I just got Traitors. He goes, I know. And I was like, but I've never watched the show. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, he's like, you have to watch the show. I'm like, I'm already in Scotland. I just landed in Scotland. because when I was reached out and they called me like, do you want to do Traitors? I was like, yes, I'm excited because I saw clips of Fedra. She's iconic.
Yes.
Hate the bitch. Love the bitch, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
But so it was iconic. So she was iconic, right? So I was like, yeah, I want to do it. So when I got to the house, I was like, Wells, we need to be careful. The dead man is going to kill us. Wells is like, who is the dead man? I'm like, the dead man that's going to come at night when we go to sleep. He's going to kill us. And he was like, oh my God, Ayan, there's no dead man here. I'm like, no, we die. Okay? We die, you know. So the dead man will murder us. So when we came from RHOBH, right? I was like, oh my God, I did not know I was going to die. So I was really crazy. So we were in this room, right? And I was like to everybody, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was Wells, Dylan, Derek, Danielle. I don't know if Bob the Bracken saw it. Maybe, I don't know, but there was a group of people. So I went to them, guys, seriously, I cannot die, okay? I worked harder than a prostitute in that castle. I was like, have you guys ever seen an African boobs in your life? Like, I'm sure you've seen on TV, but you've never seen a real one, okay? So I just showed them my boobs, okay? To everybody, okay? Which is crazy because I'm married, but I have very good boobs. That's how I got my husband.
Yep.
Because of my boobs. They're 12 o'clock, like literally. They're standing and I've breastfed for years. So, so I was there, right? And I was like, have you guys seen So I showed them my boobs. And then I didn't die. Then I was like, great, my boobs
Who specifically?
worked. I mean, group of them.
She said
Dylan,
Wells,
I
Derek.
think they're
Derek,
all there.
Danielle.
Yeah, it was a group.
What gentlemen having?
Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, they really are. They
No
haven't-
one has spoken about it.
No
They
one
really,
has.
it really is.
I love
gentlemen.
them. Yeah, I know. I love them.
They
I
really
love.
are.
I made really good friends there. So
What was their reaction?
Were they
like,
doing things like this?
no, because
snapping
they were
pictures?
just laughing because I'm crazy naturally, you know. And
Was
I
it a
didn't want to die.
flash, or did you like let it marinate?
No, I just shot them.
For how long?
Maybe I did a bit of bouncing. but they did see it. They did definitely see the boobs. Yeah, they did. And they literally said, I know for a fact they
How
all
the
told
fuck
me
did
my
they
boobs
kill
was
you?
great. They killed me because they were jealous.
The traitors killed you, yeah, overnight?
Yes,
Yeah.
but the traitors didn't want to kill me. So I know the story what happened, okay? Because I was mad as fuck, right? And I knew that Danielle and Bob were traitors before I died, which they didn't air to show it. Because when I went in, I didn't know it, but my instincts are very, very good. So I could feel like Bob kept on telling me, you're so funny, everybody loves you. But he would ignore me all day and treat me a little bit like shit. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I became friends with Wells a lot. Wells was like my friend in the house. Dylan was my very good friend. Brittany was my very good friend. Danielle was my friend because Dylan made me be friends with her. And of course, I'm friends with Dolores, Robin.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I know the girls, I know Dolores for years, you know? So when I died, I knew immediately it was Bob. But then Rob told me, because I messaged Rob, who thinks probably I'm a psychopath, and I'm okay with Rob thinking that, because when he died, I messaged him every other day, out of nowhere, just like you. I'll be like, why did you kill me? To Rob. Oh, Ayan, you really have to watch it. I'm like, yeah, you know, I really love you. I'm like, that's not the point. 3 days later, I'm like, Rob, why did you kill me?
Did he ever give you an answer?
He told me, I didn't want to kill you. And I do know that he didn't want to kill me because I watched it. But I know for a fact, because I'm a nosy person and I needed to find out what happened, Bob came in and it was like this, stood there immediately, said, Ayan has to die here and after and forever. She's got to go. You know, he was so insistent. And you know, they shot 2 seconds of it. But the traitors told me he was so insistent about me dying that they had no choice. They gave up. But Caroline didn't want to kill me. Rob didn't want to kill me. Danielle was supposed to be my girl. You know? I mean, honestly, fuck her. Because I was closer to her than anyone else in the traitors. So Bob was just like, she's got to go. She's got to go. But the good thing happened, which they didn't show. I went to Wells and said to Wells, we don't trust Bob, the drag queen. And Wells was like, yeah, we don't. Okay. That was before we went to the counter table. And then when they killed my friend, okay, I was in pain. I cried so much. I was so sad because Wells is such a kind-hearted human being. When I tell you he was there for me, he was really there for me. Even Dylan was there for me a lot, okay? And Robin. So when I died, when Wells died, I went and I told Dylan and Robin that 100% Bob is
Traitor.
what's
The
the name?
traitor.
Traitors. So I was in a car with Bob and Wes. Oh, fuck, I hate Wes too. Because Wes made me run for him. You know, when they were in the thing, right?
Yeah.
So nobody wanted to give Wes the gold, okay? So Wes, I felt like, you know what? He looks like a serial killer because he has bald-headed with the
Big
red
beard.
thing. So that's why I asked him if he's on TikTok because I saw some crime show that looked a little bit like him, okay? So I was like, okay, are you on TikTok? He goes, no. So I don't know if he's still on TikTok. Actually, I think I asked him recently. He's still not on TikTok. But then when I gave him all my coins. And then he said, I'll give you the shield.
Yeah.
So I was like, great, I'm safe. The boob saved me.
Yeah.
And now my Kenyan running skills just saved me. So I'm not going to die.
Are you fast?
No, never ran for any man in my life, including my husband. If he goes to me, go to the kitchen, I'm like, go, bruh, walk. Okay? So I was running for Wells like crazy, picking up stuff. And then, fucking Tom Sandoval. You had to hit these things for the gold to come down. So I was hitting it. My gold came down. And this grown-ass man ran and grabbed my gold and ran away with it. And I was like, you
Tom
fucking cheater.
stole it?
That's
Yes, he stole my gold.
Very Tom Sandoval.
He stole
giving
my
cheater.
gold.
Oh,
So
my
I was
God.
so
Giving
mad about
selfish.
it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he's just a cheater. Even in the game, he cheated on a girl. Okay? and I was like, and I never ran before. Okay? So I said to Wells, which he didn't air, I said, Wells, I have never run for nobody in my life. Okay? I'm a fucking supermodel. Okay? And here I'm running for you. You better give me that shield. He's like, I'll give it to you. Okay? Never fucking gave it to me because if he gave me, I would have been saved.
Right.
True.
Okay. And so I went to him and I said, hey, do you want to give me the shield that you promised me? He's like, yeah, we'll talk about it. And I never
Oh, you
heard
know,
from him.
you know, it's a no right there.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm the one that literally ran for him.
Right.
Yeah, you know, so that was fucked up. So
That
fuck
is
you,
fucked
bitch.
up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Oh
second
my
that.
God.
Yeah. So,
So, but did you ever talk to Tom Sandoval about stealing your gold?
no, because I died. So I never had a
Oh.
chance. And
You
I'm
didn't DM him and say fuck
no,
you, bitch?
no. He's not really on my radar.
Yeah.
Not really interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we see that you're friends with Sam.
Yes.
On-
I saw him here.
He was
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
it was-
so cute. Because I tried to ask him so many questions about Brittany in the house. And he literally would not answer. So the fact that I saw he opened up here,
Mhm.
I really like that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I really like that because I try to get everything because I'm a conspiracy theorist. Okay. So some people are like, maybe Britney is not the Britney dancing. There's an AI,
Mm.
you know? So sometimes I'm like looking into it, see, is it really the AI? Because I'm a conspiracy theorist naturally. But so I wanted to know more about it, you know? And I was asking because I love Britney. Like I said on the show, I love Britney. I love everything about that girl. But he wouldn't say anything. So it was nice to hear him talk about it here.
You are very open about
Yeah.
this like forced genital mutilation. Can you talk about that? What is that? Like what?
Okay. So in my culture, they circumcise girls and it's a very normal thing, right? So when I was 5 years old, I was circumcised. It's called female genital mutilation, right?
And what are they?
They
Clitoris?
circumcise you. They cut you like there's different types. So there's
Okay.
one that they can cut. They cut your clitoris. The one they sew you in. So for me, I was sewn, so I couldn't pee for like I could pee, but it takes me longer. And then when I had period, it was the worst experience of my life ever. Like until now, I have like coming from a very abusive father. Like I got the most abused out of him than anyone in my family. You know, I have broken bones. Like I literally have this here that he kicked me, you know. This going through in my life, it's like that's why maybe I see things differently in life. And so you have a lot of people that can't have babies, depression, which I go through sometimes. You have people that like girls die so young. And there's 6 countries now in Africa that just decided that they want to bring it back.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's normal. So for example, like a 3-year-old girl that doesn't know anything, there's no anesthesia, there's nothing, they tied you in the bed, you don't know what's going on. And then when you get married, like I was lucky, my husband paid for me to be open in a hospital, but a lot of girls in my culture don't get that. You have to go through your husband, with your son for years, and it's very painful. And they don't take it seriously because the reason is like you have to get married when you're a virgin. That's the thing about it, right? So it's about virginity because the fathers want to get the cows, they want to get the dowry because it's a big deal in our culture to get dowries. And if you get married in our culture, they have to make sure that you bleed to be a virgin. I know it's like 2025, but it's happening right now as we speak.
Wow.
You know, so for me, it's so important for me, but also it's like a taboo where sometimes I feel like I'm embarrassed to talk about it because I don't want people
Why?
to see me like that's who I am. But then, because I'm a mother, I'm a businesswoman, and you know,
But why would
there's
you be
more about me.
embarrassed? It's something
Because
you
it-
went through. It's
Yeah, but
it's. I think anyone who hears this story would think that that's a terrible thing to do to children.
yeah, it's really
Why
bad.
do you feel
yeah.
embarrassed by it?
Because it's like it's like something that's so kept and hidden. And then like when I talk about it, I get bullied online a lot about it. I get called prostitute, which is like D-Lo. I get like, we don't claim you, we don't want you. They would literally go really deep into bullying me and things like that. And it's sometimes like you're just like, oh, all I'm trying to do is save the girls.
Yeah.
Because I'm not on the planet just to be beautiful and argue with people to get paid on the show, stuff like that. There's more to me than that. This is something that I care about so much. So I actually started a makeup line called Ayan Beauty. And actually right now we have a blush that's dedicated to female genital mutilation.
Wow.
And proceed goes to that and try to bring awareness to it because I feel like no one is talking about it.
Yeah.
Of course, I do have few Somali friends of mine that are famous, but they cannot talk about it because you get bullied for it.
They're scared to talk about
Yeah,
it.
they're very, very scared to talk about it, you know. Like I couldn't go home. Like my castmates know this, Caroline Sambri knows this, like Sarah, like they know it because I showed them the messages. I couldn't go home to pick my mom who has dementia because she cannot fly by herself because my dad had put like a lot of threats,
Yeah.
and it's like very bad threats, So that like affected me with my mom. So as much as I'm opening about it, I'm talking about it, I also know it's like puts really bad situation on me. Like I haven't gone home for like 8 months to 9 months because I'm scared to go home.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because I'm so
When did
scared.
you realize that like what they're doing to young girls is not okay? How old were you?
When I left, because when you're raised in an environment that you think it's normal, you don't see it not being normal. And I don't know if I should say this, but I think 18, and one of my very good friends from Brazil was very open-minded about sex, which I found it so weird because in my culture, we're not that open-minded about sex. It's like women, you're not supposed to talk about sex. You're just supposed to lay down, carry babies, and shut up.
Right.
That's your job, right? So she was very open about sex. She was like, I'm dating this guy. Oh, I broke up with this guy. I'm with a new guy. I'm with this other new guy. I'm going on a date. And I thought that was so fascinating for me coming from my village where like, you need to be home at 5. If you're 5:30 home, my mom will beat you because where are you?
Yeah.
And I wasn't, and I'm halfway through. I just can't say it. Like my mom would be like, did any boy touch you? Like open your legs, and they would check because like if you're okay and stuff like that, and so when she was so outgoing and she was so dating, and I thought that was wow, people really do this. This is a different world,
Yeah.
And then she was talking about porn, and she was like, yeah, and I was like, what the hell is that? So when I watched it, and then I saw, my body part doesn't look the same as these girls.
That's when how you found out.
That's how I found out. I was like, oh wow, it's so different. Then they hit my head, and I was like, oh my God, this is so different from what I know, because she had, don't know how we're going too far, but she had lips and I don't have that. So I was like, oh my God, people like, why is so different? Then I was like, oh, then because you block it when you're young,
Right.
and then everybody's normal around you. And then I was like, oh shit, this is not normal.
No.
Because I had to go through again to the doctor to open it. And then I had my son, which was already another torture because you have to go through it. So basically, yeah, my vagina has been through a lot. I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but
No,
it's my coping mechanism. I always laugh at things. So that's why it's like so important for me to talk about it, because I really, especially 6 countries bringing it back. New York Times wrote about it recently, that they're bringing it back. And it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
It really breaks my heart. Yeah.
And I appreciate you bringing awareness to that, because I didn't know the half of that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know it exists. And it's just worse to me, like, is as child trafficking to me. It's really worse.
Wow.
And people don't know about it. Because imagine, do you have kids?
Yeah, I have a daughter, 1-year-old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah. See, she's safe. This is why I want girls to be safe like that. That's my priority in life.
After you found out, did you go back to your sisters? Did you have questions? Did you let them know?
So when I found out, I was in Brazil, went back home, and I was telling my cousins, this is not normal. Like, why can't we're not allowed to talk to boys because of the dowry situation. And also in my culture, it's like they really talk, and they can ruin your name by being like, oh, we saw her with a boy. And then immediately the whole village and the clans think like, oh my God, she's done something. Then you're losing your bank account for your family.
Right.
Because dowry is so important. You know what I mean? Like my husband paid for my dowry because it's like in
Custom,
it's a custom, So when I went back, I told them, they were like, what do you mean it's not normal? I was like, yeah, I watched this. Like, what? That's haram because we're Muslim. Like, that's not okay. But also you mentioning you're Catholic. I actually went to Catholic school.
Really?
Yeah. It was my fun time ever in my life. Because I don't know if the Catholic schools in America are the same. In America, it's the same as Africa. In Africa, we dance in the church. And in my culture, you cannot really dance in front. So I've always done things that I'm not supposed to do. The father loved me so much that they would allow me to walk through the church and do things like, because I always wanted to be different with different things, So yeah, it's definitely a fucked up situation. And I feel like that's my priority in life, to bring awareness to it.
And do you feel like the more awareness around it, it'll kind of put more pressure on them to stop doing it?
Yes. I feel like if I keep talking about it, maybe 5 people will listen to it. Maybe they will talk about, because nobody knows about
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, if they talk about it, maybe more people will talk about it. Maybe we'll save more girls together, right?
Wow, yeah.
Because I feel like if by the time, because the other day I woke up and I was like, oh my God, Ayan, you're going to be 16, 10 years. And I started to freak out at 3 a.m. I don't know why God would remind me that in the middle of this.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, why? You know, and I was like, but you haven't done enough, you know? So I need to do more. I need to do this. This is my priority in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is really brave of you to talk about it.
Yeah, thank
Obviously,
you.
it is something that like you even mentioned that you're kind of scared about
Yeah.
and that people in your culture are scared about. So I do really applaud you for
Thank
talking
you,
about
honey.
that. Yeah.
You married a good one.
I have a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did.
You were tweeting some funny things throughout Trader.
Yeah.
Are we still tweeting funny things? Have you stopped or no?
No, so I was mad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they pissed me off. And
Mhm.
honestly, I feel like they really take this job seriously.
Yeah, they do.
Like they really play this game seriously. Like I want to see fun.
yeah.
You know, I think that's why when I died, they were like, Ayan, there was so much fun died when you left. You know, Krishal was like, oh my God, you were so fun. When you left, there was no fun. Dylan was like, you know, you were so fun. But I love my boy Dylan so much because I tweet a lot about him. Because before I left, I told him that Bob was the traitor. And then when I walked into the room, they had my name. And babes, I literally bawled crying. I literally went into like panic attack and cried because I was like, why am I dead? I don't deserve this. I've been entertaining all these people for free in this castle, you know? So I was like, I shouldn't die. But then I started telepathing to Dylan because I believe in telepathy. So I was just like in my room when I died, I was like, Dylan, talk about Bob the drag queen. Dylan, please make sure he's dead. Dylan.
And you
guess
reached
what?
him.
It worked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the next day he was dead. You know, he was dead. And I was like, yes, it worked. You know, you got to telepath to people when you have connection. It's all about connection. I was like, yeah, Dylan. I was like literally calling Dylan's name. And then he made it happen. And then when he came from the Traitors, we spoke for like, I think 2 hours almost. So he told me everything that happened. He's like, don't worry, I got you. I was so
Aw.
upset when you murdered and I knew it was him. So I first in, it's like the first time I tried didn't work. But the second time it worked and he's out, you know? And I was like, love him so much.
Were you sad about Dubai not coming back?
So we were not told we're not coming back, to be honest.
Pause. We're
Pause.
We were
paused.
told we were paused.
Is it like a logistical thing just because of Dubai being kind of so far away and just like different time zones? Or why do you think it has been put on pause?
People online said when we were airing season 2 that we reminded them of the old Housewives.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of good reviews compared to New York Housewives.
Yeah.
And my
Yep.
cousin is in New York Housewives.
Yeah, well,
okay?
yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. So,
I want to ask you about that.
oh yeah,
but go
that's
ahead.
fine. Yeah, you can ask me. So, you know, we got great reviews. We were doing fun things. You know, my cast members are really crazy and good. So honestly, did not expect that call. Okay, like,
Yeah.
hey
Mhm.
guys, they've decided to put you guys on pause, but we never know. You know, didn't, because I thought we were gonna start filming in a few weeks.
Right.
You know, because they were talking to us like, what's going on with you in your life and all that stuff, you know. And also I feel like you guys didn't get to meet, you missed a lot of chance because, you know, we have like Bera Jen Shah in our cast.
Really?
Mhm.
Which-
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So we had a lot of good things coming. We
Yeah.
had
No,
a lot
yeah.
of strong storylines. There was so much that was gonna happen that you guys are missing out. And I just feel like
Want to move to
I'm
New
great
York anytime
TV.
soon?
my son is moving to New York
Or-
to college, you know?
Yeah, maybe he wants his mom there. I just feel like Uba could really use.
Me.
Some cousin
Yeah.
help.
Help.
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
How is Uba? Have you talked to Uba since?
Yes, I just talked to her 2 days ago.
How's
Was
she
it 2 days
doing?
ago? Yesterday, I told her I've landed in New York, LA. Don't even know where I am because I'm jet lagged. I told her I'm here. She's good. She's better. The family is taking care of her. You know, I put her first. I knew what was going on, of course, everything. And I care that she's in a good mental place now. Like she's better. She's very forgiving. She's better than me. Let's just put it out there. Yeah.
There was a nice end to the reunion moment that they had between her and Bryn. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that it was
But
definitely
I
I
forgiving.
felt like it was Uba
Mhm.
being the bigger person, though.
Definitely,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course. It takes the bigger person to do the bigger thing
Mhm.
when they're not even wrong,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
That
Sure.
speaks volumes.
That's
I would
true.
like to see you on Roni.
Oh, wow. Huh?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Maybe.
No, not oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
no.
wow.
No, like I might go, maybe I will go film a scene with my cousin. Maybe I'll have
Oh, that'd
fun
be
with her.
fun.
Maybe if she has an event, I'll show up and,
Yeah.
You're
and
obviously
support her.
excellent television. We didn't get quite near enough of you on Traitors.
You think I'm
Obvi-
great television? Oh, thank you. Look, we're becoming
Absolutely.
friends.
Yeah.
You know you're good television.
I am the best television. There's
Yeah.
no one like me in Housewives.
It's true.
You're excellent.
No
Sure.
one. There's
Yeah.
no one like me. And I'm saying that out of like good heart, not like some of them are the same from different shows. They're literally the same characters you can find. But me, no.
No.
Yeah, Andy
There's no one
Cohen
like
said there was
Everything-
never anyone like me he's ever seen on Housewives.
Yeah, you're
He
great.
said
You're
that.
one of one.
Yeah, it's so good to have you.
I loved this.
Come back.
Please come back on the show whenever you're back in town, or maybe we can do it remotely or something. But don't be a stranger.
Yes, I would love
If
that.
you're in Idaho, you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Zoom in.
anytime you
Yeah.
want to bully me in my DMs, please feel free.
I know that was so funny though.
I
left it
was a
there.
little disappointed you unsent them after I called you out on it. Oh,
Yeah, I unsent them because I felt like, you know what?
that was our memory. That was
I
our
know,
beginning
I'll
of
tell
our
you- I'll
relationship.
tell you why I unsent them because I was like, I started to research you, and then I found out you have a beautiful wife. Then I was like, he's grown, and she's taking, she's made him grown, and she's very pretty, so she's doing a great job.
Thank you.
That's what
I was trying. I'm
No.
trying.
Just
No,
be
great.
careful what you believe on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You're doing great. But honestly, I'm so happy to have met you. I was really looking forward to this. That's why I asked you if you live in LA, because I knew like you have a podcast, and I was like, maybe I should go. My sister actually told me about you. My sister Ifra, she was like, if you're going to LA for Traitors, maybe you should reach out to Nick Viall. He has a very good podcast. So you should do it. So that's why I went to you and I was like, do you live in LA? Because I was coming to LA.
Yeah.
So that was the reason.
And then
Now-
I discovered.
Yeah, then
Yeah,
that's when
old messages.
Yeah. Then he's like, oh my God. Yeah, but now we're friends. And
You called me the hottest man in America, so like we can.
yeah, in America, I was
Thank
like,
you.
wow.
Thank you.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really
does.
gorgeous.
And he has a really big dick.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
I
I
know.
love that for you, girl, because
I
you're so hot too. Oh my God. I would watch you guys. Okay, goodbye.
Get out of here. All right.
Yeah,
Bye.
I love-
What a dream. I just don't remember anyone calling me the best looking guy in America. So
I've called you that.
I mean,
Every morning when you wake up, I say you were the most
best looking man in
best
America.
looking
Yeah, I
man
forgot
in
I wasn't
America.
listening. Yeah. Sorry.
I've told you guys you need to watch Dubai, and one of the reasons is Chanel.
I'm
Like
obsessed
she's
with her.
unafraid
We
to
started
say.
watching a little bit, and then like the season wrapped, and then
Yeah.
pause.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really think Dubai's so far. Just wondering if she would do other TV.
You can fly me out. I'll go to Dubai.
I could see you in Dubai.
Have you ever been?
No, but my roommates are in Dubai, so I know a lot of the customs.
Your roommates are in Dubai?
No, from Dubai. She lives
Oh, really?
in my house,
Oh.
apartment.
Roommates.
Your long distance roommate.
I
in
want to
Dubai.
get on a plane that has a cabin.
No, I wouldn't get on a plane that has a shower.
Both.
Not that I would use it, but
Did she say there's a shower? On
Yeah,
there?
Yeah.
outside
she
of the
said Will
cabin.
Smith went and took a shower.
On Emirates.
Ugh.
I want to go to Dubai just to go on that plane.
Do you remember in New York Housewives when Jessel's husband got a lot of shit because about his like points, but he takes the flight to Bahrain to like get a certain sandwich or whatever, but to like up his points? The actual flight is like a hotel. It's like gourmet food. They have like a full on like living room for you to hang out with for your
Waitresses.
personal, yeah, like a full bed to lay down in.
We got to do this.
Like it's
That sounds fun.
$20,000 ticket.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
At some point
well, hopefully
in our
you-
lives, manifestating, we will be on Emirates at some point.
Manifestating.
Manifesting.
Well, at least,
did I
at
say?
least, at least it's an
Manifestating.
experience.
Listen, manifestating.
Manifestating.
Let's start.
You got to
it.
get out of row 50 first.
Yeah.
I have to get to row fucking 1 before I get to Emirates.
Yeah.
So
Thank you to our guest, Chanel Ayan and Lauren from Love is Blind. Also, if you haven't listened to the Bella Thorne episode, everyone's talking about, it's an absolute doozy. You will be clinched, just soaking up all the conversation. So if you are not privy to that interview yet, be sure to go ahead and listen to it right now. You will not regret it. We will see you next week for another explosive, fun episode of all the things that we do. We'll see you then. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.